Welcome to the next episode of Discipline, Desire, Dedication. My name is Dakota Lang, along co-host Garrett Cotten. Last episode of the year had a great year, 2025. I made a post the other day. I think it was
2 years. It was a 2 year.
2 year memory popped up, and I think it was like 3 days ago. So we just hit our 2 year anniversary. Well, we met a lot of people along the way. Created some friendships and some networking partners. It's been amazing. So you got any reflection on 2025?
Yeah, I mean, the networking opportunities and stuff that we've been able to learn. I mean, from starting a podcast, and, even if we have any listeners that are kind of like on the fence about it, the big thing is just do it, because it's going to open up more doors for you. Looking back at 2025, we've been able to bring people in from different industries, completely different careers, like MMA fighters and, insurance guys, solar guys.
Mikey with the oil stuff, energy stuff.
And the thing is like, it's just, we're learning every single day, so like as a reflection on 2025, I think it just sets us up for better success next year, because, we want to reach higher than what we did in this past year.
Yep. And also the biggest thing that I would say has taught me is just like you said, anybody looking to get into a podcast is don't look for the instant results, right? The thing is, the name of the game is just consistency in putting out content, Yeah. So I know we were talking about some of the goals for 2026 with the podcast. One of the goals that we do have in mind is we are going to get our first sponsor. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be super. We already have them in mind. We do a lot of work with them currently, and they can definitely bring a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Value.
A lot of value to a lot of our listeners. So.
Yeah, and then also we'll be able to grow as well. We'll be able to bring them on and get some insight, because they're a complete different industry, as well. So it's just more knowledge that we can add to ourselves and then add to our listeners.
Yep, and we're also in the process of getting all of our merchandise completely dialed in. It's a task at hand. I'll say that.
We've been working on it for about 2 years.
Yeah, but it's a challenge, but it's something that we're learning, and we want to have that running up and going by February 1st. So we want something that's going to be. We already have the Shopify right now, but it's not. I don't think it's up to par.
Yeah, we're going to add a lot more stuff on there. It's more than just t-shirts. We've got good quality clothes and good quality bags and things of that sort. And, so it's going to be an opportunity. We appreciate any support that we get from listeners 100%, but it's just going to be a whole lot more professional, well done, and super easy and convenient for listeners to get some merch.
Yeah, absolutely. And, another goal that we do have is we did the giveaway, and I think that was October. I don't even remember where the different locations were at this point, but we did the giveaway.
We can tell the story. All right, so we gave a story this past year a giveaway this past year for an all-inclusive trip, for a $5,000 trip giveaway. And that $5,000 trip giveaway was, a trip of your choice to Rio de Janeiro, Hawaii, like Iceland or something.
Iceland was the other one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 3 incredible locations. And one of our listeners who had won the raffle had some things come up that prohibited him from going on our trip. So very unfortunate, but maybe that's just a little extra we'll add on to this next giveaway. So we got some really big things coming in 2026 as far as giveaways.
Absolutely. And then we will do 40 episodes.
Yes.
Minimum 40 episodes, and it's going to be a lot more content with me and Cotten. So that's something that we're going to really hold ourselves accountable to, and just push out more content and better content,
Yeah. And we're growing as we go too. So like our goal is to get more direct and more detailed on our story, and then also keeping up currently as we're growing in the positions that we're in, because along with DDD, our work performance windows, we've got tons of growth coming in the next year. So just ultimately, I'd say keep up with us on the journey, because it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah, tons of growth within performance windows, and also we're going to be breaking ground construction. dear Lord, if you ever worked with engineers and architects and lighting engineers, if you've ever dealt with that, then you know the headache, but it's a hassle. So,
and maybe too for our listeners, let's go into a little bit just a side topic of the Cotten House, our wedding venue. So, for the people that don't know, me and Dakota have started a wedding venue. We're in the process of building. We've already purchased property. We've cleared land. Like there's a lot that's going into it. But right in Baton Rouge, or in Walker, Louisiana, right outside of Baton Rouge, we're going to be having a wedding venue open 2027. So throughout 2026, we can touch base, and you guys can come with us along the journey as we're trying, or while we're figuring out how to run that business. So.
Yeah, and and it's also teaching us a lot. Like I was talking about with the engineers and stuff like that, just different skill sets, putting ourselves in different spaces. Right, we've both been with Performance Windows. He's over 3 years now, and I'm coming up on 3 years. But now we're hitting the point in our career where we're able to adventure out into other business aspects. We plan on doing a deep dive into some real estate purchases. So not on opposite of the wedding venues, we're still going to keep building more and more wedding venues, but we're also going to look into rental properties, fix and flips. So we're going to be networking with people, and we'll be able to share the information that we're able to gather and the knowledge that we're able to gather with you guys. That way that y'all could use it in your own journey.
Yep. And if you guys have questions, let us be your guinea pigs. We're going to be trying to figure it out. We're going to be an open book. We're firm believers of, success isn't something that you have to figure out. It's something you need to replicate. We're not the first wedding venue. There's people that we're going to be reaching out to and getting advice from and learning, and we'll be sure to share as much info as we can on the podcast.
Absolutely. And that's super exciting. It's definitely a different space for us, but we think we got the right people in place now. We just got to go out there and execute.
Yep, now it's doing it. Just like this job, or just like the podcast. We don't know what we're doing, but if we just keep on faking it till we make it, eventually we'll get there. So I think we're doing the right thing.
Let's do a little quick deep dive into goals.
Okay.
Right. So one thing that I always think about, one of my biggest goals that I had this past year, that's in one of these episodes down, but I had being a regional by November 1st, which I did.
Yep.
There was a time and place when I didn't think that was going to happen, but it happened. So it's completely amazing. I surpassed what my goal was on what my income would be. So that's always a good thing. And I'm trying to remember some of the other ones, but I remember my biggest goal this past year was being a regional by November 1st, which I did. I have some more personal goals coming out. We're going to drop them in our first episode of January. So y'all stay tuned for that.
I've actually got my 2025 goals as my background still. It's as far as 2025. So I did a very, very simple list of personal goals. I said, read and listen to 12 books. I have accomplished that one. So that's one goal completed. Create one new source of income. Now, we haven't made any money yet, but we started the wedding venue. So we're on track, but it's probably going to be a couple of years, or a year or so before we start driving that revenue.
Yeah, 2027.
But we created the source, so the timeline's going to be a little bit longer, but that's another goal that's like halfway there. Along with that, a goal for me this year was to make 1.5 million. I'm a little bit short. I'll be about like 200K, a little bit lower than expected, but that's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
Just as far as windows, who would have thought?
Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna say it. I've always said, and people always used to think I was crazy, right? I always said I was gonna make $1 million before I'm 30, and I turned 29 yesterday.
Yep.
So, and I made $1 million already this year.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy thing too. Yeah, you gotta listen to get the good details on some of this stuff. But great opportunities and stuff like that. We're able to hit those goals. Last year, I was able to hit my income goal, which was to make $1 million, and that was my first year. So achieved it last year. This year, I had a feeling I would be able to make it. I'll be at like 1.3, so I'll be just a little bit short for this year. But next year, I'll be able to hit it. But aside from that, last goal. I did set a goal to begin training for an Ironman. I will admit I'm not perfect. I've started the training, but inconsistency has gotten to me. I'll go through spurts of like a month or two of like hitting it hard, eating right, doing all the things that I need to. And then life happens and I fall off the horse a little bit. And then I'll get back on it and fall off, get back on and fall off. I will say that I've seen a lot of progress in myself physically over the last year, improvement, but I need to lock in better and achieve the physical aspect of hitting my goals, you know. So what's some of the goals? Do you remember any of your goals?
Yeah, one of my goals was to have my house in Louisiana rented out,
As a
cash
rental?
flowing.
Yep.
And that got finished in August.
Did anybody book it yet?
Oh yeah, it's been rented out since August. So what would that be? 4 months?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's been cash flowing. Super awesome. If you don't own any rental properties, the experience that I've had so far in the first 4 months, yeah, it's cost me a little bit. Like, had to buy a new washer and dryer when they first moved in because it was giving them problems or whatever.
Don't let him fool you. It cost him a lot of bit. He had to redo the whole floor.
Yeah, well, I had to redo the whole floor and everything, or pretty much the whole house. But as far as the experience, when I started renting out the property, I have a management company that I communicate with, and it's been super simple, super easy. And then, yeah, we'll start collecting some checks on that, and that'll be cool. I think that's one of the biggest things that my focus is on next year. And I haven't written down my goals yet. I always struggle with the physical aspect of goals, like working out and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest workout guy.
It's the hardest part is consistency.
Yeah, I bought me a gym set in my house, so I got me a treadmill, and then I got a whole rack. So that's one thing that I'm going to dial in on next year, find some consistency. I'm not going to try to train for an Ironman or nothing like that, but just finding the consistency in the day-to-day of, doing extra physical stuff.
How long have you had that work set now?
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Used it yet?
Yeah. Whenever I'm home, been traveling so much, but whenever I am home, I'm gonna do it today. I've been pretty consistent with it when I'm home.
Heck yeah.
Now, ice plunge. I was gonna hit it this morning, but I had it on a hot tub, so. But that's okay too. But one big goal let's get back to my goal. One big goal that I'm going to have in 2026 is going to be as far as investing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we got the rental property, we got the wedding venue, but really and truly, I want to buy like 3 rental properties this year. Yeah. So we're figuring out the tax game.
Yeah, but I think for next year going into it, bringing on like a tax professional, Jeff Kessler and stuff like that, somebody that, has a lot more knowledge about it, because each year, as we're getting into this, you don't come for money, money must come for you. We're figuring out money as we're going, and we're learning. Each year is a lot of growth in the knowledge about where this money's going. Let's
talk about that, because, a lot of people in the door-to-door space are 1099 entrepreneurs, right? You got to pay business taxes, stuff like that. I remember you said one time whenever you first got with the people that we use, and I'm gonna save that for next year whenever we drop it. But is that you wish you would have got with them earlier, right? You wish you would have got with them earlier, and me as well. In the position I'm in now, even through this year, it took me some time to get all my ducks in a row. But now that I'm finally making traction, it feels so much better. The best advice I would give anybody that is trying to figure out the money game is get professionals involved, right? It's going to cost you a little bit, right? Their services are not free, but in the long run, the knowledge that you gain and the money that you save will outweigh the money that you're going to pay. Yeah, and even to touch on that of like Dakota's 100% right. I kept on saying, I'm going to wait until I have this dollar amount before I go talk to these professionals. And then once I started talking to them, that's when I realized I was like, I should have talked to these people so much longer ago when I had no money, when I was broke as could be. That's when you want to talk to the professionals, use what you can to get in front of these people, because they're going to give us a roadmap. And if you get a roadmap of what you're trying to achieve, the thing is without direction, you're wandering, you're clueless. A goal that that just came to my mind that we need to commit to is next year we need to go attend like a Tony Robbins event or something like that. Cool. You know what I mean? Let's go do the full experience. VIP. Investing in our future, investing in ourselves. That's a big thing. And that's another thing with all the successful people is like people invest in their health, their mindset, like we've already done the personal trainers with like the blood test and stuff like that to find deficiencies. That's an investment into ourselves. That could also be a goal for next year is, continue to do recurring blood work and see how we're scaling and stuff. Take care of ourselves. It's just investing more in ourselves too. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got anything you want to wrap up on? No, I'm just big 2026 is coming for us. Honestly, it's almost nearly 70 episodes as a podcast in 2 years.
40 episodes coming next year is going to be a busy year.
Yeah, so that means, well, actually, that's a good point because we did, this would be 70. This would be the 70th episode. Yep.
Maybe on like our 100th, that's like a point where we do like our big giveaway. Our 100 giveaway.
Next year. Because we said we committed to 40 episodes. On average, we've done 35 and 35. I can't remember if we've done more the first year or this year. But now with us both being in Utah, this is the moment we've been working for, honestly, so we just got to keep staying dialed in, keep staying consistent. And, we appreciate everybody's support. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, turn the notifications on. That way you get notified whenever we drop a post or a podcast
or a giveaway.
Wait, what'd you say?
Or giveaway.
Giveaway.
You want to be included, be on the people that are, keeping up with us, and you'll definitely get rewarded for it. Exactly.
And we want to thank all of our previous guests that came on this year and the year before that. We got something coming for you guys very soon. It's a little bit delayed, but we just want to make sure you got the perfect stuff.
Right.
So, but we thank you all for watching. Drop a comment below and have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family, and we'll catch you next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.